Hey, hey, and welcome to Connections, Coffee, and Confidence with me, Janice. Today, I want to share with you 3 quick PR wins that will take you no time and no money, but guarantee you success. No. A quick PR win is virtually non existent. You might see something go viral or have a moment in the sun, but when you look deeper, you'll realize that someone has been working very hard for quite a while to get there. So I'd like to offer this reminder that although the things I'm going to talk about today sound very simple, and in fact they are simple, there are no quick wins. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk about 3 ways you can move your PR forward, no matter how busy you are or how much money you have to spend. Hi, I'm Janice Fogarty, and I'm a communications strategist and consultant. The Connections, Coffee, Confidence podcast is for professional women entrepreneurs who have established themselves and their business, and they're ready to get serious about using the power of communication to surpass their business goals. On this podcast, I discuss everything from leadership to establishing a business vision to the intricacies of creating messaging, publicity, and more. I speak to women who excel in communications in their business, whatever they do, and get an inside look at how they created a thriving livelihood. So top up your mug and welcome to this week's episode. Visibility is kind of king these days, isn't it? But it feels like you need to have a team or an agency working on things for you before you can make any headway. It feels overwhelming because you have so many things to do, and yet you feel the pressure to be out there, to be seen, to be credible, to bring in new leads, new clients, to sell more, and, pay your bills and yourself. So you might try what you've seen others do because you think that must be what's working. And maybe it is working for them. And if it is what's working, I can guarantee there's more to it than what you first see. Now, before you get swept away in trying lots of different things, even the things I'm going to discuss, there are 2 big caveats to be aware of. The first being your purpose or your goal. What are you trying to achieve with this activity? Under that banner question comes the concepts of messaging, audience, and medium. When you look at these concepts, when you're clear on your purpose, it'll help you figure out what your best next move is for growing your visibility through PR. And it might not be what you think. The second caveat is that consistency over time is what will turn your efforts into a win. Like I said, is something of yours going viral? That is wonderful for that day. If people never hear your name or see your face again, they'll forget it. Something else will be viral tomorrow. You need to be seen or heard. You need to touch your potential audience 21 times before you make any kind of a memorable impact. The odds of someone watching your viral video that many times are not good. So you need to be consistent. You need to show up again and again over time, many times. And yes, I'm belaboring the point, but that's because we need to hear it again and again. Consistency is what's key. Visibility is great. Memorable is better. So assuming your goal and messaging are fine-tuned and you're prepared to make some time available on a regular basis to put into your efforts, let's have a look at 3 ideas you could put into place to help your business stick in the head of someone who wants to work with you. And the first idea is to go on a podcast. Podcasts are everywhere. With over 2 million podcasts on probably 1 million topics, I guarantee you are going to find someone with a podcast playing to the people who are interested in what you do. If you enjoy talking with someone about what you do, if you're able to express yourself clearly and with passion, you should consider appearing as a guest on other people's podcasts. What I love about them is that they are SEO or search engine optimization friendly, and they have a long shelf life, meaning when someone is looking for exactly what you're talking about, your podcast interview will come up in their search results. Some of my podcast episodes from 2020 are still being downloaded every day, which is fantastic. And if you don't think this is a fantastic idea, you should have a listen to episode 88, 10 Reasons to be a Podcast Guest, which talks much more in depth about all the benefits. 10 of them, to be precise. The second idea is to pitch to blogs. Again, blogs are everywhere. There are over 570 million active blogs, requiring a lot of content. If you like to write, then I recommend you research some blogs that cover content you can create and pitch a few ideas. Again, blog posts are incredibly good for your SEO, and the ability for you to include links back to your work and your website, that SEO boosts both of your visibility online. When you think about the longevity of a post and the control that you have over the wording, the messaging, and the exposure to a loyal audience that, oh God, you didn't have to build, it's a great opportunity to increase your credibility and your visibility. The catch with both of these options is that, again, you need to be consistent and targeted in your approach. So get clear on who you want to talk to, what you want to say, and what you have that will be of value to the audience and maybe even to the host or the blogger. And then ask. You may need to pitch to 10 before somebody says yes, but that's okay. You may need to tweak your pitch a few times. That's expected. Have a bunch of different topics or stories to propose. So if you get a no, then you're ready with something else. Consistently taking an hour or two every few weeks to research the podcast or blog options, to send or follow up on pitches, will pay back with opportunities to increase your visibility and credibility with the right audience. And that is where the wins lie. So these options work wonderfully with a local as well as an online audience. But what if you solely provide services locally? My suggestion for that is your local media. Every community, no matter how small or out of the way, will have something available for residents to learn about what's going on. It might be a radio station. It could be a local newspaper or even a monthly newsletter that gets printed and put next to the community mailbox. There will be something going around, and there will be space available for you to fill. The trick is knowing what to fill it with and how to get it in there. If there are community events happening, try and attend them. Reporters will often show up to get a picture and speak to the organizer and probably a participant or two. So take that opportunity to introduce yourself. Don't ask for anything. Just introduce yourself. Make polite chit-chat. Comment on a story that they recently covered if you saw it or read it and can remember. And the next time you see them, say hello. Be friendly. Be approachable. And then, when you see something happen that you can contribute a position on, when you see something that you can explain or put into context for local people, offer your expertise. If you're in a big market, you can follow the same steps, but you can also note who's covering the stories that overlap with your expertise and send an introductory email with your contact information. Don't be a pest. Don't waste their time. But if you have something of value to add on something they've covered, comment on the story. Reporters often read the comments to get an idea of what public reaction is. Or you just email them. It might open a discussion. The key here is not just to be valuable and available, but to be local, whatever local is for you. Now, none of these ideas are quick wins. You will need to keep an eye on what's happening around you, in your industry, in your community, with a slightly different view. You can train yourself to start seeing opportunities where when something happens that is of interest or has an impact or that you know something about, a little signal goes off in your brain and you think, hey, that's something I can comment on or write or speak about. And the repetition of getting in front of the people you want to speak with, of getting into their ears, of being searchable when someone wants the answers that you have, is what will turn you from being visible to being memorable. if you want more ideas like these, you can head to my website at janicefogarty.com, where I have a freebie with 10 ideas of where you can get free publicity and visibility. I'll link to it and some other helpful materials in the show notes. Oh, hey, would you like to get 30 minutes of my undivided attention on your business, where we can talk about any communications challenge your business is facing and get you on your path to a solution? Well, I'd be super grateful if you left me a nice review and a rating, as those things really help other podcast listeners see my show. My way of saying thank you for those who rate and review, then screenshot it and tag me on Instagram at Janice E. Fogarty, is to enter you in to win that 30-minute session with me. Sound good? I really appreciate your continued support. And until next week, have a fan-freaking-tastic rest of your day. Thanks so much for listening this week. I invite you to sign up for my email list or join me in the Connections Coffee and Confidence community on Facebook. Those are the people who get first dibs on any classes or products I create, and they benefit from the extras I can't get into in a podcast format. I also lovingly request that if you've enjoyed this podcast, you leave a review on Apple. When I see a new review, I get so excited I almost spill my cappuccino froth. Almost. And if you're a woman entrepreneur who's ready to get serious about using the power of communications to grow your business, send me an email at janice@janicefogarty.com. All my details are in the show notes. Thank you again for listening today, and I'll chat with you again next week.